Hey everybody, and thanks for joining me back here at Slowpoke Racing with the Ultimate Racing League for our Wednesday GT3 challenge with the League One guys. Fantastic racing in race one, and what an amazing finish. Bit of a judgment error by Osman and Neil Farmack. I think they thought they were going to run out of fuel. They had to make a pit stop with a lap to go, which allowed Bennett through to take the win. So Bennett got the win in race one. Osman came in second with Brian Moncani third, and poor old Neil Farmack finished way down the order in about P6 or 7, excuse me. Race two, I'm sure we are in for just as many thrills and spills now. Then there is a mandatory pit stop in race two. Hards and soft tyres have to be used. So it's going to be all about the tactics for this one, and it is also a random grid. So I think it is Unforgiven that actually hosts these races. He's got some sort of number generator on his phone, and that is how the grid is determined. So let's have a look, shall we, and see who is where. Grasshopper, bit of a nightmare for him actually in race one. He made a very, very early pit stop, which put him right at the back. Never really recovered from it, but the number generator has put him on pole position, so he will have a big grin on his face, I'm sure, while sitting in that NSX. Stealth is just behind him in second. That's a good position for Stealth. Hopefully he can get away and get himself a decent race this time out. Method in third. Then we've got Nath in fourth and Neil Farmack in fifth. That's not a bad position actually for Neil. He'll want to get himself up there and amongst the leaders very early on, so he'll be looking for a good start. YT in 6th, Unforgiven in 7th, Brian Moncani in 8th in the AMG. Then we've got Osman in 9th in the Jag. He has a fantastic race, first race, led all the way right up until the last lap, so he'll be looking to make amends for that. But starting in 9th, Bennett, race 1 leader, down in 10th. Looks like he enjoys this track, so just keep an eye on him making his way through the grid. Matty Older in 11th with Carlsberg in 12th. We do have the livery back on again, which is great to see. And then we've got Sai in 13th. So back up to the top then, and we'll get this race underway, shall we? This looks like an evening race, so the one this morning, one earlier on was sunrise. It was in the dark, and the guys have been out, they've had some dinner, bit of juice, a bit of a sleep, and back out again for the evening race. So they're not going to see much daylight, are they, here in Tokyo, as they all jostle for positions around the first turn. Let me get my map. Where's it gone? There it is. So Grasshopper still out in front, leading the way. He's on the soft tyres, as he does like to start on the softs and try and get himself some distance between himself and the rest of the pack. Method just behind him in second. Then we've got Stealth in third, Nath in fourth, Oz in fifth. Let's just have a look at Nath on the hard tyres, Osman on the soft, so it won't be long before Osman is challenging Nath for that position. And then Osman will try and get himself up the front as well with Grasshopper. Those two will be battling it out, I'm sure, in the early opening laps. Yeah, and there we go. Osman has already made the move on Nath. Not much Nath could do, actually. Nath is on the harder tyres, but maybe he can make up for it when he does do the pit stop later on. Brian Moncani in fifth. He's gone almost side by side but with YT. Brian Moncani starting on the hards, YT on the soft, so he has got a better grip. And they are getting a bit too cosy there, aren't they, in the tunnel? A bit touchy-feely. Brian Moncani at the minute maintaining P5, while YT just has to slot in behind him as they come up towards turn 11. Now then, YT should have the advantage here. He's got the better grip with that softer compound tyre, and yeah, it just shows he just moves through very easily there. So YT moves up into fifth. Unforgiven also on the soft tyres takes full advantage of Brian. Well, I say that, but Brian has fought back. Brian has managed to hold on to P6, but for how long, as Unforgiven is harassing him? It is the other way around. In race one, it was Brian Moncani really pushing Unforgiven, trying to force a mistake out of him. This time around, it is Unforgiven pushing Brian Moncani. Now, Unforgiven is on the softer tyres, as I've said, so he has got the advantage, but he does need to get by Brian Moncani whilst those tyres are in good shape, because they will soon start to drop off. and then Brian will be able to challenge him a little bit better. So Unforgiven's going to look to try and get past Brian as quickly as he can. Bennett has moved up to 8 already. He's on the hard tyres as well. So race 1 winner, made up 2 spots already. Mattiolda in 9th, he's on the soft tyres. He needs to get a move on, doesn't he, as Neil Farmack's doing exactly that. Neil Farmack on the hards though, now up to 10th. Well, actually, I say up to 10th. He started in 5th, so he's not had the best of starts, but he's going to start coming through the grid now, I'm sure, is Neil Farmack. Stealth in 11th, then Carlsberg in 12th. It's nice to see he's got the livery on and it's all green this time, and I am liking that. I am liking that Genesis. I do like the shape of the Genesis anyway, and I think it looks great when it's got the liveries on it. So Carlsberg in 11th, Stealth in 12th with Sai down in 13th. So back up to the top then, and Grasshopper trying to make a gap between himself and Osman, but Osman already fought his way through up into P2, and he's going to be sticking with Grasshopper, isn't he? He's not going to let him get too far away. As we've seen before, when Grasshopper starts at the front, he can get away from the rest of the pack and open up a decent gap, and that's exactly what he tries to do. But I think Osman's going to stay with him, so it will be these two actually pulling away, both on the soft tyres. So whether Osman actually wants to race Grasshopper or he's just going to stick with him and create a gap back to the rest of the pack. Method though doing a decent job in the NSX. He's also on the soft tyres. He's going to try and keep in touch with the two in front of him. Whitey in 4th in the Porsche, also on the soft tyres. Then we've got Unforgiven in 5th on softs. Then the first, or the highest placed guy on the hard tyres is Nathan in 6th. Ryan Mulcahy also on the hards in 7th. Mattiolda in 8th. He's on the soft tyres now. Then he does need to get by these two guys in front of him. Wow, he's got some grip left in those tyres. Bennett, race 1 winner in 10th. He's going side by side with Neil Farmack as they come around this holding area. I'm not sure what to call it. Oh, what fantastic racing. Look at this, side by side. It's almost like they are actually linked, and they are still side by side as Bennett and Neil Farmack go into turn 6. This tricky right-hander. Neil Farmack just has to let Bennett have that one, but he is still fighting in there. He is right underneath the rear wing, having a good old look in the boot of Bennett's Supra as they enter into the tunnel, heading up towards turn 11. Where's my map? There it is. They're in the tunnel heading towards turn 11. This is the fastest section of the track. It is Bennett in P9 with Neil Farmack in P10. I'm just going to stick with these two as they come down towards this hairpin bend. Neil Farmack dives to the inside, goes down through the gears to help slow that car down, and well, he's got the job done, hasn't he? What a fantastic move from Neil Farmack. Really had to work hard to get that Supra slow enough to make that hairpin bend, but Bennett is fighting back. Bennett in the Supra. Now we do know the Supra is very quick in a straight line, and maybe a little bit too quick for that Subaru, so Neil Farmack has got a lot of defending to do. He's got some clever driving ahead of him if he's going to stay in front of Bennett, because Bennett loves this track, as he's shown in race 1. Neil Farmack trying to make up for the fuel error that himself and Osman had. So Neil Farmack up to 9th, Stealth in 11th. He's got Carlsberg chasing him down, and Sai is in there as well in 13th, tucked right underneath the rear wing of Carlsberg as Sai pushes and tries to force a mistake out of Carlsberg as they go through turn 1. Let's just have a quick look and see what's happening at the top, and as we suspected, Grasshopper is still out in front, but Osman sticking with him. Osman really come to grips with that Jag. Nice looking Jag actually as well. He's decent livery on that. So Osman staying with Grasshopper. Maybe doesn't really want to challenge him at the minute. He's just quite happy to sit in his slipstream. It'll help him with his fuel and tyres. So let's just have a look. Grasshopper, we know he's very, very good at looking after his tyres. Can he do the same with the fuel? And have a look. Now, Osman is saving fuel, but being in the slipstream of Grasshopper is definitely going to help. And well, I was going to say, I'm sure Osman is quite happy to sit behind Grasshopper, and it does look like it, because I was sort of half thinking he was going to make a move on him then, but has decided against it. But these two really are starting to pull away from the rest of the pack. In fact, there's quite a gap opened up now. They will have to go onto the hard tyres soon. Now, where are we? We're on lap 4, and we are just approaching 8 minutes in. And you can see the wear on the tyres. Osman's slightly more wear on his tyres, but fuel is looking better this time, and he is almost glued to the back of Grasshopper, isn't he? Jump on board with Osman, and that is what he's looking at. Now he's decided he's going to make a move as they head down towards turn 1. He's got the inside line, hasn't he? A quick look in the mirror there, and yeah, Grasshopper has conceded that one and just slotted in behind. So it is now Osman's turn to lead the race. Grasshopper will follow him around. Maybe it's his turn to save a little bit of fuel. Let's just have a look, see what else is happening. YT in the Porsche, sitting in third. He's got Method all over him though. Unforgiven is in there as well. So we've got the Porsche against the NSX, against the BMW. Heading down towards turns 2, 3, 4 and 5, this little dockyard area, storage, whatever you want to call it. A very tricky technical section of the track. You've got a double right-hander, then you're into another right-hander with a left-hander to follow, then you're into a right-hander, which is this long sweeping turn 6. Very easy to clip the barrier on the exit. Was Unforgiven very nearly did. And then you're into the tunnel. Brian Moncani, he's having his own little battle with Matty Older for P6 at the minute. Brian Moncani's holding on to it, but Matty tucked right underneath the rear wing of that AMG, having a good old sniff, isn't he, of that the smelly end of that Merc. Brian Moncani doing absolutely everything he can to keep Matty behind him. Matty is just quite happy to sit there, isn't he? Oh, now he goes for it as they approach turn 11. Matty has gone to the inside. Matty on the soft tyres, Brian Moncani on the hard. Oh, as Matty gets it all sorts of wrong. It went very squirrely for him on the exit, and he's lost a couple of places. Brian Moncani takes it away, and Matty, well, he's just dropped right off the back of Brian Moncani. Brian Moncani on the hard tyres, but it was taking a little bit easy. Matty did well to save it, actually. It could have gone a lot worse, but that cost him. But he's soon back onto Brian Moncani. He's really not messing about, is he, is Matty? I thought he was going to be a bit further back than that after the mistake, but no, he is already on to Brian Moncani and pushing him along again. Then if we look behind us, we've got Neil Farmack and Nath. They're having their own private little war for P8. Bennett is in there as well in P10. Just keeping an eye on everything just in front of him. He's on the hard tyres, so he can go a little bit further into this race. Stealth in 11th. He's all on his own at the minute, isn't he, in no man's land. It's a quick look in the mirror and you can see Sai managed to get by Carlsberg, so Sai moved up into 12th with Carlsberg in 13th. So whether Carlsberg had a bit of an issue, you can see the fuel starting to go down, so the guys will be thinking about pit stops very shortly. If we go back up to our race leader, it is still Osman. Grasshopper still glued to him. Let's have a look at the fuel. So Osman just over a quarter of a tank. Grasshopper, he's used a little bit more actually, as Grasshopper has a look around the outside of turn 11, but nothing doing there, and just slots straight back in behind Osman. So these two are having a proper good fight, aren't they? Maybe a bit of tactics coming into it, but they've opened up quite a gap back to YT in third. YT though enjoying this second race just a little bit more, sitting in P3 at the minute. He is on the soft tyres though, so we'll have to change onto the hards. Unforgiven also on the softs with Method just behind him. Now I'm just looking at the tyres, and the front left, well, the left hand side of the car actually is looking a bit warm, maybe 45-50% wear on those tyres, so I think we will be looking at a pit stop in the next couple of laps. I'm just trying to work out whether it's the fuel or the tyres that's going to drop off first. Brian Moncani, he's not got no problem with the tyres, he's on the hard tyres. the fuel just under a quarter of a tank. He's having a good old fight with Neil Farmack as well. Neil Farmack used a little bit more fuel in that Subaru, but also on a decent set of hard tyres. So it'll be fuel for those guys, Brian, Neil. Anyone on the hard tyres, I think, is going to run out of fuel before the tyres drop off. It's going to be the opposite, I think, maybe for the guys running softs. Let's see if we can find somebody now then. It looks like Bennett has already pitted, so Bennett has pulled the trigger first and came in, or maybe Nathan's come in as well, and Si. So these three at the back, and that's why they're at the back. Bennett, Nathan, and Si have all pitted. So Bennett now out on the softs and a full tank of fuel. Well, not quite a full tank. Nathan's got a full tank of fuel, and so has Si. So those three have all pitted. Osman, is he going to pit as we're coming up towards turn 11 where the pit entry is? And Osman has decided to stay out. Grasshopper is just going to do exactly the same as what Osman done. I thought maybe Grasshopper might to try to get the undercut then, but no, he's decided to stay with Osman. Although there is maybe 1-2 car lengths gap between the two of them now, so maybe Grasshopper is starting to feel it on the tyres. Now then, we do have a bit of action into the pit lane again. Neil Farmack is in, Brian Moncani is in, these two having a bit of a fight of their own for P7 and 8. Stealth has decided to come in as well. Is Carlsberg coming in? No, Carlsberg is staying out. He's now moved up into P7. So a bit of activity in the pit lane. Osman and Grasshopper have stayed out though. Now then, they're going to have to come in, aren't they? I think probably at the end of this lap as they head down towards turn 2. Osman starting to get a very slight gap back to Grasshopper. And you can see the fuel light starting to flash now for Osman's F-Type. And it'll be the same for Grasshopper in the NSX, yeah. So these two will be coming in at the end of this lap. Unforgiven, he'll probably be doing the same as well. He's got slightly more fuel, but I think the tyres are going to start to hurt him. You can just see YT there on the soft. He's just had a bit of a touch with Barrier. In fact, YT was in third, wasn't he? So apologies, we missed that as Unforgiven has got by and moved up into P3. But I think all these guys I think are going to be coming in maybe at the end of this lap. So we'll just stick with them just to see what's happening. Osman, surely he's going to stay to the left. He is not going to get one more lap out of that tank. And there we go, into the parking lot. Same with Grasshopper. Unforgiven surely is going to come in as well. He's going to be followed by YT. Now then, Method has decided to stay out. He has got slightly more fuel, so he's looked after his fuel a little bit better than the other guys. Tyre-wise, not too bad actually. So Method now moves up into the lead of this race as the rest of the grid come in. We've got Unforgiven, Grasshopper, Matty, Osman, YT all in the pit. Carlsberg just coming up towards the pit entry, and he's definitely going to come in as well. You can see the flames licking out the side of that Genesis as he goes through the gears. Bennett already made his stop, so this could help Bennett at least pick up 1 or 2 spots. He's now moved up into 6. Matty just coming out of the pit lane now, just ahead of Nath and Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack has already made his stop, as has Nath. So Neil in 10th, chasing Matty Older down, along with Nath, as Nath pulls alongside Matty Older. Oh, and Neil Farmack's gone through as well. So Neil, let's have a look, where are we? Neil Farmack, he is on the soft tyres. Nath is on the soft tyres, and Matty on a fresh set of hard, so they're not going to be warmed up yet. He needs another lap and a half yet. So no wonder that those guys went by him very quickly. Stealth is out on a fresh set of soft tyres. Same as Si and Carlsberg. So our leader with the soft tyres and the fuel light flashing at him now as he goes around turn 6, comes up into the tunnel and goes through turn 7, 8 and 9. Just approaching turn 10 at the crossover bit, so the guys will be going, is it underneath him? So he will stay to the left now and pull into the pit. So where is Osman? Osman is just coming up through turns 7 and 8. So I suspect Osman will be taking over the lead of this race again. Yeah, Method is in. You can see on the top left there. So Method is into the pits. Osman hits turn 11, and as soon as he gets around here, he will be noted as race leader. Now their Method is just coming out of the pits now as Grasshopper goes through. So Osman retakes the lead of this race. Grasshopper moves up into P2. Method gets himself out, but is on the hard tyres. Just under half a tank of fuel, but is in P3. Unforgiven also on the hard tyres. And apologies if you're seeing all that on screen, these things keep popping up. Unforgiven in 4th, also on the hard tyres then, so it is going to be quite a battle, isn't it? As the front 4 all on hards. YT also on the hard tyres. Bennett, now then, Bennett pitted earlier, didn't he? And put a set of softs on. Bennett has a habit of pitting early, and I always wonder whether he's actually going to get to the end of the race with the tyres, and he always surprises me, so I'm sure he's got a plan in mind as he tries to challenge YT for P5. That could have got a lot worse, couldn't it? Let's have another look at that, shall we? I'm going to just go back a little bit further so I can get the right camera angle. As Bennett chases YT down. Now then, YT got very, very squirrely on the exit of turn 1. You can see Bennett trying to make a challenge. YT tries to come over to get back onto the racing line. He is on the inside, but a little kiss with Barrier there, and it really throws him off. And as he tries to correct it, he came straight back over. And actually, Bennett helped YT stay facing the right direction, didn't he? So that could have got very nasty very quickly. But no harm done, really. They are both still facing the right way, and they are racing. Bennett being very patient. He knows he's on the softer compound tyre, and he's going to have the superior grip through some of these turns. So he just has to bide his time, and I'm sure he's thinking, well, I'll get P5 very shortly. Again, YT has another little scrape with Barrier, and that's cost him. Bennett just went straight through, so patience paid off there for Bennett. Well done to him. YT struggling on those hard tyres at the minute, maybe just needs another half a lap or so to get some heat into them, start to get a bit of grip. Brian Moncani in 7th. He's on the soft tyres now, so he's going to be looking at trying to challenge YT very shortly. Nathan 8th. Then we've got Neil Farmack in 9th. Had a fantastic, well, 3 quarters, maybe more, a race in race 1. Was sitting pretty in P2 until he realised he was going to run out of fuel along with Oz and had to pit. Cost him quite a few places, so he was hoping for better things in race 2, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get himself through the pack like he wanted to. Currently sitting in 9th and challenging Nath. Nath also on the soft tyres, the same as Neil Farmack, so Nath, he's not going to give this place up very easily, is he? As Neil Farmack really tries to put the pressure on, Nath is just soaking it up. Having a brilliant race, these two. And I'm sure they are enjoying it, as Neil Farmack he's constantly looking for a way by, but brilliant racing from Nath to keep Neil behind him. Stealth having a good battle with Sai as well for 10th and 11th, so there are battles all over the place. Sai decides to pull alongside Stealth, gets himself on the inside into turn 1, but no, Stealth just manages to keep his nose in front. Sai is just going to have to be a bit patient, the same as Bennett did. But Stealth doing a good job of defending as they head towards turn 2 and the little storage area, container area. We ought to think of a proper name for it, really, hadn't we? So around turn 2 they go. Into turn 3, it's just one big right hand turn, and then out through turn 5, the left hander, and it is Stealth leading Sai. Matty Older in 12th, with Carlsberg a little bit off now in 13th. So back up to the top, and Osman really opening up a gap now back to Grasshopper, as Osman exits turn 11, Grasshopper just entering turn 11, so that's the difference. There's probably a couple of seconds between the two of them. We are at 22 minutes, so 3 minutes to go. We're probably looking at one more lap after this one, I think. Method currently sitting in P3. He'll be pleased with that, won't he? He's on the hard tyres. He's got Unforgiven, Bennett and YT behind him. But great racing from Method so far. Holding on to that third podium spot. Can he stay there though? Unforgiven. Let's jump on board with Unforgiven, shall we? A quick look. Well, I was going to say a quick look behind us at Bennett, but Bennett has already decided he's going to pull alongside Unforgiven. As we go into turn 1, Unforgiven is on the inside, but Bennett is going to try and throw it around the outside. He's still there, but Unforgiven just holding on to P4. Bennett just having to slot in behind him, but for how long? Bennett is really pushing Unforgiven along as they come up towards the storage area. And where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Bennett must be on the inside of Unforgiven, so Unforgiven is trying to give him enough room. Let's get out of there so we can see what's happening. A fantastic moving from Bennett to take that place away from Unforgiven. Well done to Unforgiven for giving him the room. And now Bennett. Next target is Method just ahead. Oh, let's get the right camera, shall we? So yeah, Bennett moves up into P4 and yeah, he's eyeing up Method now. He wants another taste of champagne. He got himself on the podium in the first race to take the win. And he wants more, doesn't he? He's not going to settle for P4 as he starts to harass Method. Bennett is on the soft tyres, although they are about 50% worn now, but I think he's still going to have the superior grip when it comes to this. As he turns into turn 11, Bennett going all the way around the outside, looking for the decent exit. Unforgiven is still in there. Method just managing to hold on to P3. We are into the last minute. As much as I want to stay with these guys, I've got to go and have a look and see what's happening with Osman. We're just going to see if Bennett can get himself up into P3. He is still pushing Method. Unforgiven has not given up this fight either. He still fancies his chances of getting on the podium as well. Method just coming under all sorts of pressure. How long can he cope with this? Bennett looking for a way past Unforgiven, just sitting there in the slipstream of Bennett, waiting for him to make a move. We are going to have to go up to our race leader. We will come back to them. In fact, Osman's got quite a way to go. So, oh, and Bennett's done it. Bennett has got through to P3. Let's go back. We've got to have to go back. We've got to go back and have a look at this. Method is just soaking up this pressure as Bennett really pushes in that Supra. Unforgiven, poised and ready for any mistake from either of the two guys in front of him, and he will be on them. There, Bennett just pulls out on the run up to turn 1. Method on the inside. Bennett tries to go all the way around the outside. What a fantastic move. Bennett all the way around the outside at turn 1 to take P3. Unforgiven now pushing to get up into P4. Method holding on for everything he's got. Now we can go up to Osman as he comes around the container area at turns 2, 3, 4 and 5, heading towards turn 6 now. Osman under no pressure whatsoever, so it looks very much like race 2 is his. This time he has got enough fuel to make it to the end. Grasshopper sitting in P2. He has also got enough fuel to get to the end of the race. Bennett, he's going to have enough fuel, I think. The tyres are looking very worn. He's still got a fight on his hands. Unforgiven has got by Method, but and not giving up on a podium yet. Bennett has got a fight for this one. Where is Osman? Let's have a look. Osman just coming around turn 11 now. Just a few more turns to go before Osman can claim victory. If we go back and have a look at Bennett turning 11, Unforgiven, he's still sticking with him in P4. Method, he's not given up yet, has he? And now Brian Moncani and YT are starting to catch as well. We can just see Method trying to make a move on Unforgiven. We're going to go back up to Osman as he comes around the final turn at turn 16 and heads towards that checkered flag. So a great win for Osman, got the tactic spot on this time around. Well done to him. Grasshopper, he will come in second. Much better showing from Grasshopper in race 2, and then the actual race really is carrying on at the back, and it looks like Bennett is going to get himself on the podium again, and he has. Method finishes in 4th, just ahead of Brian Moncarney. Well, where has Unforgiven got? We're going to have to go back and find out what's happened here. I'm going to go back a little bit further, so sorry about this, but now then, Unforgiven was in 4th. They all got a good exit out of turn 11. Bennett is starting to pull a bit of a gap. Method, well, he goes by Unforgiven as if he's got no fuel, and that's exactly what's happened. It is an Unforgiven's time to mess the fuel situation up. Brian Moncarney goes through as well. Unforgiven, oh dear me, what a mistake to make it, especially after Osman and Grasshopper nearly did the sorry, not Grasshopper, Neil Farmack did the same in race 1, and poor old Unforgiven has run out of fuel after a fantastic battle with Bennett and Method, and poor old Unforgiven now is, well, he's just about going to make it across the line, and look at how many positions he's lost. A quick look, even Matty's going to go by, so Unforgiven finishing in 11th. What a shame. Well done though to Osman, fantastic win for him, and Grasshopper in 2nd, Bennett in 3rd, Method 4th, Brian Moncarney 5th, Neil Farmack 6th, Whitey 7th, Nath in 8th. Well, sorry, we missed the rest of it. What a brilliant race. As we predicted, Tokyo always does throw up some fantastic racing. I've got to say well done to T. Bennett. This was definitely his week. A win in race 1 and 3rd in race 2. So well done to him. Osman, fantastic racing all the way through. As usual with Osman, it was just that slight mistake with the fuel calculations in race 1 that cost him. But he did get onto the podium in race 1, and he won race 2. So brilliant racing from Osman as always. And poor old Unforgiven, a mistake with the fuel for him in race 2 has cost him. But that's racing for you, and that's what happened at Tokyo. Now then, I will very quickly tell you where we are going to be next week. We are going to be at Sardinia on the B layout. So that is going to be interesting. A very tight track that is at Sardinia. So looking forward to that one. So hopefully you can join me then. If you've enjoyed these videos, then please remember to hit that like button. And if you've not already subscribed, if you could do so, we are just a couple short, I think, of 200 subscribers, so it would be fantastic if we could reach that. I will catch you all very shortly. Thanks for watching.